Hey everyone, Cory here, coming at you today once again from Abbotsford Exhibition Park. You can see Mount Baker behind me there in all its glory. It is a beautiful, cold, crisp, clear winter day, Monday, January 27th, and it's Monday again, so I guess this is the Monday musing. Didn't get a chance to get out again for a walk and talk on the weekend. A lot going on this weekend. Spent a couple days at the Pacific Agricultural Show at TradeX in Abbotsford. The Agri Fair had a booth at the Pacific Agricultural Show, so I spent a lot of my time over the weekend there. We had two music bingo events this Saturday or this weekend at the Dudney Pub. Friday night was just a regular Friday music bingo, and Saturday night was our fundraiser in support of the Drosh Community Fair. And we had an amazing turnout for that fundraiser on Saturday, and our team was able to raise about $2,600 in support of the Kids Zone organizing children's activities at the Drosh Community Fair, which we are planning to host at the Drosh Hall on August 23rd. So yeah, it was a good weekend. It was a full weekend, and we did get out for a walk. Yosuke and I did get out on Sunday for a walk with Sadie, and but just didn't get a chance to get the phone and the selfie stick out. So here it is once again, Monday afternoon, about 4 o'clock. You can see the sun is beginning to set there on this beautiful day. So yeah, I had a great week last week, and thanks once again for those of you who watched last week's walk and talk. Got it down to 13 minutes, and had some feedback on the Monday musings concept. Since I can't seem to get my walks in during the week or during the weekend, maybe this will just become a Monday afternoon thing that I do. So last week I mentioned that I was feeling like perhaps I was running out of things to talk about, just kind of going over and over everything that's going on in my life. And somebody mentioned that I should talk about being the mayor of Drosh. Now, of course, I'm not actually the mayor of Drosh. Drosh doesn't have a mayor. But what my friend Joanne was referring to in that comment was the fact that I am the elected area representative on the Fraser Valley Regional District Board for Electoral Area G, which is the area that includes Hatzick Island, Dudney, Nacoman Island, and Drosh. And I was honored and privileged to be elected by the residents of that area to represent them at the regional district. That happened October 2022. So just finished my second full year, 2 years out of a 4-year term, working on behalf of the residents of Area G. Now, if you're not familiar with the regional district, the province is broken into a number of regional districts that include municipalities as well as the electoral areas, which are those areas that are unincorporated outside of the municipalities. So in the Fraser Valley Regional District, there are 5 member municipalities. We've got Abbotsford, Mission, Chilliwack, Agassiz Kent, Harrison, and Hope. So 6 member municipalities and 8 electoral areas that go all the way from McConnell Creek on the north side of the river, and I guess Cultus Lake area. Area H would be the most western electoral area on the south side of the river, and all the way to Manning Park, up to Boston Bar. A huge area that the Fraser Valley Regional District encompasses, and I am one of 24 directors on the Regional District Board. So what does the Regional District do? Well, the main function of the Regional District is to provide local government services for the electoral areas that don't have a city council to manage their services. So the group of 8 electoral area directors, we make up not really the council, but it's the 8 elected area representatives that come together as part of the Electoral Area Services Committee, and we debate issues such as land use. We have bylaw enforcement. We have a set of bylaws that we enforce. We provide services such as water and sewer to certain neighborhoods, and a whole host of other services that are provided in the electoral areas by the Regional District. Not like a municipality where there is taxes collected and then the council sets priorities on spending for those taxes. But in the Regional District, each individual service that we provide has its own tax base. For instance, there are residents in Desroches who are connected to a neighborhood water system, but only those 40 or so properties who are connected to the water system actually pay for that service, as opposed to all of the residents even in Area G. Not all the residents in Area G have a water system that they can tap into, so they don't pay for what they don't use. So it's a lot different than a municipality in that we manage, I think there's something like 120 different services. Each one has its own tax base, each one has its own budget, and so the Electoral Area Services Committee, we manage those services for the electoral areas, and then the member municipalities join us for the big board, and then we manage some regional services. So regional services might include mosquito control, invasive weeds, air quality, animal control services. The Regional District provides the animal control services for all of the member municipalities, and some of our electoral areas also have an aggressive dog bylaw program service that's also managed by the Regional District. So yeah, there's a lot on the plate of the Regional District, and a lot of services that are provided to the over 350,000 residents of the Fraser Valley Regional District. I really enjoy the uber local aspect of representing Area G. So really drilling down into issues that concern the residents in those neighborhoods within our area. But I also really enjoy being part of that regional board that considers, how our decisions can affect the entire region, which, if you think about it, we represent people all the way from the city of Abbotsford up to the community of Boston Bar. And that can be a little tricky to kind of balance out the needs, wants, desires, concerns of residents in an urban center like Abbotsford, but also in a very rural area like Boston Bar or the Sunshine Valley. But just over 2 years into my 4-year term, I've learned a lot. I've sat at a lot of meetings. I've asked a lot of questions and tried to make decisions that are best for the interests of the people that I represent, but also for the entire region. So, yeah, thanks, Joanne, for that suggestion of talking a little bit about my role at the regional district. A variety of topics that we're working on right now. One being the budget. So our budget planning process takes us from about, well, to be quite honest, in September, we already start looking at, setting the tone for the budget. And then through November, December, January is where we really get down into the meat of the budget and exploring each line item, each service area individually and making decisions about those. And then finally the budget, I think February or March is when the budget finally comes to the board for full approval. So working on the budget. It is budget season. I know all of my friends in the municipalities have also been working away on their budgets. And it's a lot to learn. It's a lot to work through your brain, to try to wrap your brain around a lot of it, and trying to make that balance of providing services that the residents want and need versus the cost of providing those services, which result in a tax bill, right? So in Area G, a lot of my time is spent addressing, water. Too much water, not enough water, poor water quality, all sorts of things. So, ensuring that we have the resources to maintain our dikes isn't a regional district service per se, but as a representative for an area that relies heavily on the dikes as well as the pump stations that keep the water, out of where we want it to be. There's a lot of advocating that goes along with my role at the regional district. Of course, the watershed. We've got a number of watersheds within Area G. Spent a lot of time on the Hatzick Lake watershed, but also the Desroches, Nakoman, Norse Creek. So much water that comes down off those hills and, of course, flows to the river, the Fraser River, that we need to be aware of and try our best to manage. Water quality. There's folks in certain areas, certain neighborhoods of Area G where the water quality that comes from their wells is not as good as we'd like it to be. And so, looking and exploring, consulting with residents to see if there is a desire for a new local water system for those folks. We've been working on that for the last couple of years. My priority of running for the regional district was all around public safety. And so I spend a lot of my time advocating with the RCMP. I'm actually meeting with Inspector Luco from the Mission RCMP detachment tomorrow morning to talk about primarily traffic in the area. Those speeders, people that just love to speed along that highway as they go through our area. But also, working with the CP police, addressing concerns around safety around the CP tracks, and the big one of the biggest services that we provide in Area G and throughout the regional district is fire protective services. So ensuring that our local fire departments, in my case, in Area G's case, the North Fraser Fire Department, making sure that we're giving our volunteer firefighters the tools and resources that they need to do the work that they do to keep our community safe. And whenever I get a chance, I like to give a shout out to our friends at the North Fraser Fire Department for the incredible work that they do as volunteers. Right around 500 calls a year that our volunteer firefighters respond to. And if you think about that, 365 days in a year, 500 calls, we're getting pretty darn close to 2 calls a day. And the sacrifices that our local resident volunteers make to respond to those calls. So thank you to our volunteer firefighters and to everyone that is a first responder and works to keep our community safe. With that, fire, Area G, our communities do interface with the mountains, with the forests on the mountains, the Crown land. And so also working to address concerns and planning around managing wildfires, preventing wildfires. But a huge service that the regional district also provides is emergency management. In the event when some of these natural disasters hit, the 2021 floods was a good example of a natural disaster that really impacted residents in the regional district. And we've got a fabulous team in our emergency management department at the regional district, and a shout out to the folks who do all that good work as well. So look at me, you get me talking on a certain topic, and it's 17 minutes now. I hope that the cows are enjoying this extra long video, Rhonda. And but here I am at the corner of McClure and Trethewey, where Abbotsford Exhibition Park is. You can see the sign for Abbotsford Agri Fair that's hosted here in the park every year on the August long weekend. So anyway, folks, I hope that you had a fantastic week and that you've got a good week planned going forward. I saw on the weather report that we're going to get some precipitation this weekend, late this week, and they've got snowflakes on the weather forecast. So enjoy this beautiful sunny weather while we can, because it looks like the weather's going to change and we might actually get some winter after all. So anyway, everybody, have a wonderful week. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure that you make a comment down below, and we'll talk to you again next week. Bye for now, everybody. Have a fantastic week.